Welcome to Spaceverse, your portal to cosmic adventures. The International Space Station is on its last legs, but don't worry, NASA had a backup plan. Well, they did. Now that plan seems to be crashing and burning, and the truth about NASA's new space station will definitely catch you off guard. Up until just last month, Axiom Space seemed like our best shot at the future of living and working in space. With a team packed with NASA veterans and backed by a solid mix of funding from both NASA contractors and investors, they looked promising. Their plan was pretty straightforward. Axiom would gradually build their station by adding one module at a time to the ISS until they had a fully functional, independent space station. When the ISS inevitably descends into fiery ruins, Axiom's station would seamlessly take over, keeping humanity's presence in low Earth orbit unbroken. But here's the plot twist. The mastermind behind the ISS's construction and operation, Michael Srini, turns out to be a disaster at running a private company. For 30 years, Mike was a NASA veteran serving as the program manager for the ISS from 2005 to 2015. He oversaw the station's transition from assembly to operation. In 2016, he partnered with billionaire Cam Gafarian, a big name in NASA's engineering services, who helped run astronaut training and ISS operations. Gafarian also co-founded the moon landing company Intuitive Machines and satellite maker Quantum Space. Mike became the CEO of Axiom, with Cam doing, well, billionaire stuff. Sounds like a perfect team, right? What could possibly go wrong? Apparently everything. The trouble started to surface in August 2024 when Mike unexpectedly announced he was stepping down as CEO due to unspecified personal reasons. That's never a good sign. In his place, Cam was promoted to interim CEO, which turned out to be a huge mistake. Just a month later, Cam sat down for an interview with Forbes, which published the article under the headline, "This billionaire startup wanted to build a space station. Now it can barely pay its bills." Cam, my guy, I respect the honesty. But why on earth would you openly admit to the media that you're broke and can't even build the station you're supposed to? And if you thought that was strange, things only get worse from here. So how did it all go wrong? Well, Axiom was originally founded with the goal of creating the world's first commercial space station, with plans to launch the first module in 2020. The company secured a top-notch contractor, Thales Alenia, a legendary Italian manufacturer that also built half of the ISS's core modules, to design the station. Axiom even launched a side project flying private citizens to the ISS aboard SpaceX's Crew Dragon. They've completed 3 commercial crew flights, with a 4th planned for spring 2025. But now, as 2024 draws to a close, that module still isn't finished. It's close, but Axiom might never get their hands on it because they haven't been paying the contractor they hired to build it. It turns out Axiom has been struggling to pay anyone for quite some time. According to Forbes, Axiom's payroll issues date back to at least early 2023. On top of that, the company's behind on payments to crucial suppliers, including Thales Alenia and SpaceX. It's especially awkward considering a video Axiom released just 3 months ago, showcasing engineers working at Thales on the station, work they haven't been paid for. So here's the big question. If all the work on the space station is being done by a contractor, why does Axiom have 1,000 employees they also can't pay? Now let's dive into the story of Mike, who gets thrown under the bus in a big way. It turns out the unidentified personal reasons for his sudden departure as CEO aren't as mysterious as they seemed. Mike didn't exactly excel at the transition from public to private sector leadership. According to Forbes, CEO Michael Srini, who spent 3 decades at NASA, ran Axiom like it was a big government program rather than a startup with limited resources. His plan to hire 800 workers by the end of 2022 led to mass hiring that was so disconnected from actual product development needs. New engineers often found themselves twiddling their thumbs with nothing to do. So what does this mean for the Axiom station? Well, as we mentioned, the pressure shell for the first habitation module is nearly complete, and it's being crafted by some of the best in the business, assuming the bills get paid, of course. But even with that, there's still a lot of work left before this thing can take off. The purpose of this first module is to provide living quarters for 4 crew members, with some extra space for small-scale research projects. The first thing you'll notice about the Axiom crew quarters is how much more comfortable they are compared to the current ISS. The individual pods are similar to those Japanese capsule hotels, offering each crew member their own private room with touchscreen monitors, LED lighting, and even a window with a view of Earth. These sleeping pods were designed by French architect Philippe Starck, who says he was inspired to create a nest, a cozy and friendly egg made from materials and colors that evoke a fetal universe. But here's the catch. All this fancy stuff won't be quick or easy to install, especially if they want it to look like the renderings. Right now, Axiom is optimistic they'll receive the HAB-1 shell in 2025 at their Houston, Texas facility. From there, they plan to complete the final assembly with a hopeful launch date no earlier than late 2026. Once it's ready, this Axiom module will dock with the forward port of the ISS Harmony module, becoming a permanent part of the space station. That's step 1. Then comes Axiom HAB-2, which was expected to launch 1 year after HAB-1. This second module will essentially double the crew capacity in the Axiom segment of the ISS, bringing the total to 8 people. It will also provide an independent life support system for the Axiom segment and include a robotic manipulator similar to the Canadarm. Next up, we have the Axiom Research and Manufacturing Facility. This will dock to the side port of HAB-2, helping to form an L shape. The goal with this facility is to take advantage of the unique microgravity environment of low Earth orbit, using it as a platform for conducting innovative research, product development, process improvement, and manufacturing. The final piece of the Axiom station puzzle will be the Power Thermal Module. This module serves as additional storage and payload space, but more importantly, it will connect to Axiom's dedicated solar panel array, providing power for the segment and managing climate control. With these 4 modules, plus 1 fancy window, the Axiom segment of the ISS will be ready to detach from the main station and operate as a standalone platform. But here's the kicker. The ISS is scheduled for deorbit and destruction by a suborbital Dragon vehicle, which will break it into flaming debris sometime in 2030. For about a year before that, NASA plans to let the station's orbit naturally decay and slowly fall toward Earth. So don't feel bad if you're skeptical about whether anything we've just described will actually come to life, because even Axiom seems to have lost faith in it. According to Forbes, the company's new plan is to drastically downsize their ambitions. Instead of a 4-module station that would separate from the government-operated ISS by 2030, Axiom is now looking at a much smaller station with only 2 modules. This new station would have lower power and reduced commercial potential, according to the article. Here's the new plan: launch HAB-1, then build a smaller, less capable power thermal module, and hopefully get it into orbit before the ISS starts its descent. This would give Axiom something that could loosely be called a space station. It would be about the same size and functionality as the old Soviet Salyut modules from the 70s, which would be better than nothing, but still not great. It's certainly not what NASA envisioned when they awarded Axiom a $140 million contract in 2019. But honestly, Axiom's not the only one who dropped the ball in this space station race. Back in 2021, NASA awarded contracts to 3 companies, Blue Origin, Nanoracks, and Northrop Grumman, valued between $125 million and $160 million. The goal was to start work on their own commercial space stations, which NASA could use in the post-ISS era. But Northrop Grumman dropped out. They're not even trying anymore. Nanoracks was bought out by Voyager Space, and Blue Origin is doing what they do best, talking a lot but delivering very little. So NASA is already planning to try again next year. The administration will issue a request for proposals for the second round of commercial space station contracts in 2025 and aims to make an award by 2026. It's believed NASA would like to award contracts to at least 2 companies in this next phase. SpaceX, for one, plans to submit its own proposal, likely for a Starship-based orbital platform. As for Axiom, Cam is doing his best to downplay the Forbes report. He argues that the article misrepresented things, but hasn't pointed out any specific inaccuracies in the reporting. Another intriguing part of this story is that Axiom never profited from their SpaceX side venture. In fact, the paid trips to orbit actually cost them millions. They still owe SpaceX $670 million for 4 Crew Dragon flights, each including the launch and transport of 4 astronauts to and from the station for 1 to 2 weeks. This comes out to $1.1675 million per launch, or $41.9 million per seat. If you've ever wondered about the actual cost of flying with SpaceX, there you have it. However, there's one positive outcome from all this chaos: Axiom's other business, spacesuits. You might be curious about how their financial mismanagement impacts the EMU program, specifically the lunar via suits that NASA ordered from Axiom with a $228 million development contract last year. According to Forbes, this project has pulled resources away from the space station effort, suggesting that the suits are now a higher priority for the company. So, while it's unlikely we'll ever see a full-fledged space station from Axiom, they may still help people walk on the moon, and that's pretty cool. And that's it for today, Spaceverse. Axiom's journey may be rocky, but there is still hope for the moon. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more space updates. Keep reaching for the stars.